Trump took over the Republican Party. It's his. And even though he lost this election, he's going to dominate the party. It's no longer the Republican Party. It's the Trump Party.
Winning is easy. Losing is never easy. Not for me, it's not.
He was supposed to be the disruptor. Instead, he became an agent of chaos.
Donald Trump has certainly changed the party and conservative politics by adding this demagogic element. He has changed the party into one that uses very irrational appeals to the people.
We're going to build the wall.
And therefore gets to the worst instincts of the American people.
We want to stop the steal. We want a free election. We want Donald Trump in office.
That's going to last as long as Republicans tend to see that as the path to the White House, to the Supreme Court, and to Congress.
One thing that's clear about the election, it was not a wholehearted, categoric rejection of Trumpism.
Donald Trump won 73 million votes, maybe even more.
Trump won more than 10 million more votes than he won in 2016. That's really phenomenal. That's about a 10-15% jump in his number of votes.
Donald Trump got more votes than any sitting president ever.
I think there are a number of ways that Trump has transformed the Republican Party, what it stands for, and also the people who vote for it. On the issues, he has changed their platform when he ran that insurgent 2016 presidential campaign and how he approached the White House when he was in office on a number of the big policy topics.
He maintained such a hold among voters in the Republican column, and that is because he made good on the promises that were meaningful to them.
America first.
He lowered taxes.
It's the largest tax cut in the history of our country, and reform, but tax cut.
He diminished regulations, particularly on businesses. He put 3 rock-ribbed conservatives on the U.S. Supreme Court who, in practice, will serve for life. So long after Donald Trump has left this mortal coil, no doubt his 3 people will still remain on the court. He's also attempted to stop, with some success, illegal immigration in this country.
We're taking people out of the country. You wouldn't believe how bad these people are.
So on all of those fronts, he promised these approaches to governance in his campaign in 2016, and he carried through on them.
Sorry to keep you waiting. Complicated business. Complicated.
Donald Trump has changed fundamentally what it means to be a Republican, and it's got nothing to do with the issues, which is why I've always said, and I left the Republican Party a few months ago, because the party really is a cult. It's a cult. It has nothing to do really with issues anymore. I mean, conservatives generally in America have always believed in a more limited government. We fear big government. We fear government power. But now, oh my God, Donald Trump is the most authoritarian president we've ever had.
And the media are among the most dishonest people anywhere at any time.
One element of Trump's political life that other politicians will seek to embody, and it's his remarkable ability to develop a connection with supporters who are very distant and often from totally different backgrounds to him.
My people are so smart. And you know what else they say about my people? The polls. They say, I have the most loyal people. Did you ever see that?
I think that they look at Trump and give him credit for opening the door to these new voters, and that all of the remaining politicians will see how they can also attract those same voters.
What do you have to lose by trying something new like Trump?
When you look at the breakdown of the polls, non-college white Americans who are from a totally different part of the socioeconomic spectrum.
We want a president that loves America.
He says, you are forgotten America. I can represent you.
Those rallies he held for us, to let us know, the forgotten men and women of America, that we were forgotten no more.
Despite all his riches and his fame, he manages to connect to those people to a phenomenal degree.
Trump 2020, baby!
Because Trump garnered 75 million votes among Americans, even in a losing cause in this last election, it's hard to believe that people won't attempt to take on his approach. But I fear for the party if they don't depart from his approach.
I think one theme of Trump's presidency that we've seen throughout, and that could be advantageous to the Republican Party in the future and other political leaders in the future, is his rejection of orthodoxy.
Today we officially opened the United States Embassy in Jerusalem.
The party will try to rid itself of some of his most aberrant features.
Come on. How does it look, darling?
Clinical narcissism.
I am the chosen one.
The Russophilia.
Putin appears to be President Trump's puppeteer.
But overall, the turn to a party that is more nationalistic, more populist, more focused on racial grievance, class grievance. All of that, I think, is here to stay.
It's not over.
There are plenty of Republicans privately who wish he would go away, who wish we could put him in a rocket ship and send him to the moon for the rest of his life. But they don't have the balls or the courage to say that publicly, and they never will.
We will never give up. We will never concede. It doesn't happen. You don't concede when there's theft involved. We're going to walk down Pennsylvania Avenue. I love Pennsylvania Avenue. And we're going to the Capitol. I know that everyone here will soon be marching over to the Capitol building to peacefully and patriotically make your voices heard.
When he gave that speech telling his protesters to march on the Capitol, Donald Trump set his legacy in stone. He was supposed to be the disruptor. Instead, he became an agent of chaos. He did some things which his supporters will say were good, that he ran the economy well, that he brought a degree of peace to the Middle East and began America's long process of withdrawal from that region. But he also constitutionally stress-tested America's institutions. And the manner of his leaving is going to define in many people's minds the way in which he ran the American government.
Trump, in many degrees, was a chaotic president because he wasn't bound by any of those usual positions, or he didn't feel bound by them.
North Korea best not make any more threats to the United States. They will be met with fire and fury.
But equally, his supporters say that freed him up to look at some issues with a clear eye and try and come up with some kind of solutions.
The Republican Party will not be rid of Donald Trump for some time. He may well run again. More importantly, he will threaten to run again or run a proxy on his behalf.
Worst case scenario, in 2024, President Trump is coming back for his second term, and they will have everything, and we will crush you.
The Republicans have got to make a choice. Are they the party of Donald Trump, defined by him and his legacy, or are they their own party? Can they find someone else and move in a different direction? If the Republicans are smart, they will try to draw a line under Donald Trump to distance themselves from him, because although he brought many new people into their coalition, he's also made it probably a lot harder for them to win the presidency again.
This is the fundamental and most profound question now for American politics and public life and journalism and academia and scholarship. How will we ever approach the truth? And even once we find the truth, how will we have some common sense of not only the truth, but in the United States, the meaning of our democratic system?
I think his greatest legacy will be the destruction of truth.
This is a fraud on the American public.
He's going to leave the White House and he will take with him his great lie.
If you count the legal votes, I easily win. If you count the illegal votes, they can try to steal the election from us.
The great lie that this election was stolen from him.
President Trump won. You understand?
I hear from thousands of Trump supporters every day.
The fact that he won 5 million votes more than Donald Trump did.
I think that's a fallacy.
They all believe the lie.